Hey, it's Fayd. So, this is going to be an updated Hellion tutorial for Scorchstone Hellion, the other, like the new normal Hellion, all that kind of shit since the last time I played much, basically. And I'm doing this because I feel bad for people watching the current video. The information's pretty out of date in some cases, and it'll basically mess you up, low-key. So yeah, I'm just going to put a link to the description of that one to this one, and hopefully that will fix the issue. I'm going to start out a little bit differently because you need to have a certain like stat line to even start the hunt or the quest for it in this patch, which means telling you guys like what kind of gear you need isn't really going to be important. If you can start the quest, you're fine. You can go do it. You can solo it if you really know what you're doing. Although Scorchstone, not so fun to solo without Fireproof, which we'll be getting into. As usual, I'm putting what I consider to be important information at the beginning so you guys can get it and get out of here. And then everything else, like I'll show like strategies for actually fighting it and things like that towards the end. So I'd like to talk about the armor that you can craft from it and the weapons. What's worth it, what isn't. That's actually relevant in this update. All the armor that you can craft in this game can be taken to endgame, at least can be upgraded to endgame. Not that it should be. In this case, there's one piece that's total garbage and the rest are either very good or relatively useful sometimes. And then the weapons are just always good, actually, so let's get into that. The Hellion weapons. I just don't have them upgraded because I have other things to use. I will get around to it eventually because, like I said, excuse me for a sec, like I said, they are quite good, and it's on my to-do list. I've just not been doing it recently, okay? They've got 2 power slots and a really good passive. They're all the same. It's pretty crazy. Overpower is a great trait as well. There's nothing bad about these weapons, okay? There just isn't. They're some of the best weapons in the entire game. They're going to proc a really good DPS status. 2 power slots is crazy good. And then, yeah, good affected trait. There's nothing to complain about. These weapons will carry you through the entire game. No problem. Ignore this helmet. This is what I would actually suggest bringing to Scorchstone Hellion. But the Hellion helmet itself is +3 Rage Hunter, and it has a technique slot. One of the best helmets in the game, especially for new players. More veteran players, all it does is give you build flexibility because you've already got all the +3 Rage Hunter cells you need, most likely. But newer players, you probably don't even have a +3 Rage Hunter cell. This gives you that, and it gives you a technique slot on top of it, so nothing to complain about. It's a decent slot. There you go. Make this helmet. It will serve you well through the entire game. I still use it sometimes. Okay, Cuirass. This thing has molten on it. I like molten. It's fun to use, but I'm not going to crunch the numbers on molten versus conduit versus etheric attunement versus evasive fury versus wild frenzy versus etheric frenzy. Okay, I'm just not gonna do it. So I can't tell you if this is the best attack speed trait in the game. What I can tell you is I've used it and it worked. Okay, it's not going to be massively detrimental to you. So I don't make my videos for speedrunners, right? I make my videos for players who are maybe having trouble with something and need to learn how to do it, or trying to get familiar with the game. So don't, go use Molten because Fayd said it was good and try to do a speedrun and get a bad time and then have some speedrunner tell you Molten's trash for speedrunning. No, I'm telling you it works. It does okay. I had fun with it. It's usable. Okay. And this armor has a technique slot. Not bad. It's fine. The bracers. These have Molten again and a power slot. That's fine too. And then the legs don't even. I'm fucking trash. Don't make the legs. No, just unless you're going for your achievements, don't craft the fucking legs. Like, excuse me. If I ever see someone using the legs and it's not transmogged, I will have a fucking heart attack if they're not doing it for an achievement. That's literally it. Anyways, ignore this build. It's just here because I slapped on whatever I could find for doing the actual hunt. As usual, if you are having trouble with any fight, I would suggest like a sword or a pike. Or pistols, repeaters. They're a thing now. It's very easy to use those weapons. You're going to survive a lot longer. They're relatively similar in a lot of ways, and easier to learn on. I think they're much more forgiving with their movesets and their animations, etc., etc. I think sword specifically, though, is quite well suited to Hellion. So are repeaters. I'm not so sure about pike. Pike, I think, is a kind of a garbage weapon. You take it in the place of a sword if you're having trouble with a hunt. When that hunt has something like a boop in it, you know, like a Moonreaver Shrike, for instance. My next huge tip is if you're having trouble with a hunt and you're just a lazy piece of shit, you don't care about getting better at the game, you just want your gear, you want it now. Like, I get it. Some people are like that. It's a video game. You play how you want to play. Missing the point of the game, but that's all right. Just queue up, 3-4 times. You'll end up killing it. Okay, like somebody will be in there and just straight up carry you. It'll probably happen. There's a good chance it'll happen. Because if you're in a 4-man, the health is 300%, I believe, still, versus 100% obviously solo. So the more people you have that are better than you, the more chance you have of killing it. And if you're just total garbage, everyone's going to be better than you, which means queuing groups gives you a better chance of killing it every single time. All right. So, one more thing. Fireproof is huge. Like I already kind of alluded to. This helmet here, the Charog helmet, at plus 10 gives you plus 3 fireproof, and then a plus 3 cell, and the defensive slot of the same helmet is plus 6. Excuse me. As you see over here, immune to being set on fire, just completely does nothing to you. You can walk through lava, no problem. And that's big. I would say that as a newer player trying to get this done the first time, it's more important to have plus 6 fireproof and only plus 6 fireproof than like a full DPS cell build. Okay? Your gear is you're gonna die quick to the fire, otherwise you're not going to be doing the damage to begin with, and that's that. Alright, so when he goes under like that and starts his little volcano thing, it's on keyboard, it's T. I don't know what it is on controllers. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself. It auto-targets him. When you start hearing the sound, press T. It tells you exactly where he's going to come up. Okay? And it's amazing. You just press spacebar just before he hits the ground. You'll dodge it every single time. Alright, first thing to mention here that's different from the old Hellion, or the current Hellion, but not Scorchstone, right? So that's one of the differences between the two. Is when he does the side slam, he slides for a little bit. So it has some momentum to it, and that basically means it's not as much free damage anymore. Remember, when he's in aether mode, I think Scorchstone will still drop molten orbs. Yeah, that wasn't me. So yeah, Scorchstone will still drop molten orbs. Just not a lot of them, and not very often. Same with normal Hellion now. It doesn't happen when you break the scales, okay? That's the difference from my last video. And I want you guys to keep an eye on how I'm doing this, right? I'm hitting twice. This is not how I would normally play, right? I'm playing very careful. This is free damage if you have fireproof. I'm playing very carefully, and I'm just hitting a couple at a time, and then I'm going to dodge, right? Maybe 3 if I'm feeling greedy. Okay. And that's all you do. Just hit a couple times and dodge. Press T when he's popping up. If you recognize free damage, take it. Right? But it takes time to learn that. Like learning that when he screams, usually you'll get a couple extra hits in. He has a new tail slam that I'll try to get him to do, and a new tail swipe. Apart from the side slam differences, I think that's all that I've really noticed. Apart from like a lot more fire. So if you roll into the side slam, that gives you a lot more damage. It's still free damage if you do that, but it takes positioning and awareness, which you may not have, and that's okay. Okay, this is the new tail swipe. So see how it goes like almost all the way around one way, then almost all the way around another way, and then there's kind of like a little half back swipe thing at the end. That's anywhere from 3 to 1, maybe 0 dodges, depending on where you stand. I think if you're a little bit to the side of his head, opposite the direction it starts in, you might not take damage. Notice, a couple hits. I'll just wait. Okay, I got free damage here. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna wait for him again. I hear him, I press T, auto target, spacebar. Easy peasy. Don't worry about breaking parts if you've never done this hunt before. It's more important just to kill him. But focus on the legs, and eventually you'll get leg breaks, right? Focus on the head, eventually you'll get head breaks. You don't have to go ham. Usually the way that I found hunts work is if you focus on one thing and your teammates don't really give a shit what they break, the damage will be spread pretty evenly by your teammates, to some extent anyway, and you'll end up getting the part you want because you're focusing your damage on it. But for the first hunt though, like I said, just don't focus. Just hit the legs, you'll get leg breaks at least, and you'll get the kill. If you go for stuff that's not the legs, you're going to take more damage. And even after the legs are broken, just keep hitting them. Alright, so this is free damage if you're at the tail. Oops. And if you're at the head, it's free damage until this point. And then he does that little AoE explosion. It's very low damage, so you can ignore it if you so choose. Oops, that hit me. I spacebarred too late. That's the 360 tail swipe. Usually it's 2 dodges if you're trying to be safe. That's in the old Hellion though. Here's the new tail. Okay, so this is the new tail slam. It's like the gnasher one almost. He just does a couple times and then he stops. It's really fast. Aether mode again. Recognize that. You can get some free DPS. But again, I'm being a little greedy because I can tell what he's going to do just by like the minute animations. It's nothing special. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay, new tail swipe again. That thing can hit you literally 3 times. I think even the backswing does a decent amount of damage. Remember though, when you stand somewhere, he's likely to use that attack, right? So I stand near the tail. Oh, that baited me. I'm not used to that attack all the way yet. You're likely to get tail swiped, right? I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but cutting the tail off is not detrimental in here anymore at all. So cut the tail off, you reduce the range of the tail attacks. I think you actually disable a certain amount of them. Perfect. That's good. But you don't focus it, right? Because focusing the tail means he uses a lot of tail attacks. Generally speaking, tail attacks hit a lot more targets than the other ones do. And that basically means that you're putting your team in danger by being near the tail. Somebody on the legs might be expecting a stomp because everyone sits on the legs anyway. You walked over, oops, my bad. You walk over to the tail, you get your teammate tail swiped because he's thinking a stomp is coming and he doesn't recognize the animation, or he just got greedy and wasn't prepared. Getting teammates killed in this game is actually a thing you do just by standing in the wrong spot while you DPS, because it procs attacks that they just are not prepared for. Anyhow, hopefully people can overlook the fact that I died in here. I'm literally just attacking pretty randomly. Here's free damage. And then there's the explosion. It does very little. I usually don't dodge it, but if you're like newer, your armor's not that great, you probably should. Yeah, anyways, ignore the death in here if you can, because like I could very easily solo this. It's just, this is a tutorial. I'm trying to show things more than I'm trying to kill things. Got greedy there though. That's what happens. That little mini stomp, that'll really catch you off guard. And his attack patterns, once he does it, are actually quite quick. His follow-ups are very good. I waited too long there. I couldn't even finish my combo, but you usually have quite a bit of time to do so. Oopsies. See, I'm getting greedy now. That's bad, right? If I was like, you know, properly paying attention, blah, 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 wouldn't be happening. But it's a good example for you guys as well of overstaying. Okay, so this I know is a free damage right here, okay? I'm not going to get hit now. Okay, this is a free damage. This is like 2 hits, maybe more, depending. And now he's running away. Again, free damage. So, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Really trying to drive home the importance of hit a couple times, wait, dodge, hit a couple times, wait, dodge. That's how you should take every single hunt when you're learning it the first time. Grab a weapon like a sword, pike, pistols, whatever. Pistols are pretty like control intensive. You have to do a lot of like button clicking compared to like the sword, where you can literally just left click your way to victory if you're new to a hunt. But yeah, I'd say just grab a sword, whatever, and even just spend the whole time dodging instead of actually fighting, and you'll get used to it. And then you can start adding in 1 attack, and then start adding in 2 attacks. So yeah, anyways, I will catch you guys later, and I hope this was helpful.